What is up, everybody? Petetorious for another Petetorious interview. Thank you so much for joining me for episode number 7. That's right. We are sticking with it. We are popping off. Not as much on the subscribers, but that is okay, because this content's great. I love doing it, and I've still gotten good feedback. If you are seeing this, please give us a subscription to the YouTube channel. That would mean a lot. Definitely want to get more eyes to this because I am interviewing artists that are worth checking out, and these artists definitely deserve the love. And this next guest is no short of that description. Rich White, comedian I've been meeting. We actually do have some similar paths in life. Definitely not in tattooing because I cannot draw for shit, but he's a tattoo artist. He owns his own tattoo shop. He has gotten, within a year, checked off a bucket list spot that every comic in the world has wanted to check out. We will get much more into that, but let's bring him on. We're going to talk some MMA-ish, talk comedy-ish, and just entrepreneurial life stuff. So let's bring him on. I guess today he will be Richie Spychala. Let's bring him on. Richie, what's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you, Peter.
Hey, great to see you, man. Great to have you on. Oh, let's get
Thanks for having me
back. Of course, man. Of course. Like I said, man, we have very similar interests. Yeah. And now I have even more things to talk about because you have Rock Him in the background.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, a little painting I did when I had COVID.
Dude, yeah, you had COVID at the time and you made that?
Yeah, you're on quarantine. What are you going to do? I just started painting. I did a lot.
Okay. Like you didn't have COVID and you made
No, I had COVID.
What the? Okay, so you're really good. I don't know anything.
I'm in my man cave right now, and this is where I was quarantined while I had COVID. And you can only play so much pinball. You can only shoot pool so much by yourself. And then you get bored, man. 5 days is a long time.
Yeah, no, totally, man. Well, that's okay. Well, that puts things in a.
Sorry.
Dude, I mean, I can tell it's Rock Him from here, so that's good enough. Yeah,
thanks.
That's sick, man. So, okay, let's go in that direction, man. So, like tattooing. So you own your own business.
I do. Yeah.
And so yeah.
Oh, just go ahead. 23 years.
I was going to say 22 years. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. 23. Yeah. Damn, man. That's a long time. And so for you with tattooing, how does somebody get into tattooing? Like somebody's like, I'm good at drawing. Like, is there somebody like, yeah, you're good at drawing, but you can't really tattoo for shit? Does that ever happen?
Oh, yeah. I know many. Yeah. Back when I started tattooing 30 years ago, it was different. It was a lot different, of course. There wasn't mainstream. There was like one shop in the town that I lived in and then 20 miles to the next one. And so at that time, tattooing had just taken off. I mean, it had been around for years, but I always credit Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think I said this on another podcast, but just they had an album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. And on the inside were pictures of all their tattoos. So I was 18. I was like, whoa, look at this. So we started getting tattooed. I was living with a guy that basically sold weed for a living. And I met a kid that had some equipment. So he needed some weed. I needed some tattoo equipment. I got my roommate to give me some weed. I traded him for tattoo equipment. Yeah. And the rest was history. I just started on these people that were, I mean, they knew I didn't know anything about tattooing. I didn't even have all the equipment. And so I was what we referred to as a scratcher, which is a very negative term for somebody who's like home-based, self-taught tattooer that probably isn't as clean as the guys in the shops. Now, in 93, shops weren't very clean either. So looking back on it, I don't know how bad it was in comparison, but I did it that way. It's not something to brag about. I don't recommend people do that. Nowadays, you could just get on Amazon, you get yourself some equipment. There's how-to videos. I mean, it's completely changed. Anybody can tattoo now, unfortunately. And I was lucky enough. I got in early. I've been doing okay.
So like what accolades were making it so people like, were you just drawing good enough stuff and like the word got out that people were like, hey, like we want your tattoos?
Man, Peter, you'd be surprised. If you bought some equipment today, you would have 5 people tomorrow begging you to tattoo them.
Wow.
whether you have any art skills or not.
I'm
but
terrible.
With me, I had art skills, so it just seemed like people they trust if you could draw, you could tattoo, which wasn't this. They're not the same.
Yeah.
Tattooing is a craft. It's just a
Yeah.
craft. You learn
Well,
it.
right. I mean,
Anything else, you
art.
do it. No, the art's
Yeah.
done. If the tattoo proper, then all the
Mhm.
artwork is done before the tattoo ever starts. At that point,
right.
you're
Yeah.
just like a little CNC machine copying what's already been done onto skin. It's a craft.
You're tracing.
Not to downplay
right?
it.
Yeah.
There's amazing artist tattooers out there. There are,
Mm-hmm.
and their art is beautiful. But it was beautiful when it was on paper before it hit the skin. And that's the illusion, I think, is people think that they're creating this magic on skin. And some will just go to skin and tattoo, but done right, it should be ready to go before you ever touch needle to skin. And I think that approaching it like a craft has been the way my focus, especially doing portraits. You know, I copy pictures, so I don't really have to draw the person's face. You know, I just take the picture and make a stencil and my thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I know what you mean though, where it's like you are just kind of tracing at that point once it's
for the most part. Yeah, I know
skin.
it sounds like it makes it sound very simple, but I believe that's the case. I do. I think that you're tracing something and then you got to retrace it. And they say, what is it? The tattooing is like working with the world's hardest brush on the softest canvas is what they say.
Huh.
So
I figure that.
That's what we do.
Well, hey, that gives me hope because I'm terrible with art. I seriously cannot draw.
I
want to learn to
on
draw.
my left arm. I have like a lot of chest pieces, and I have my friends who don't tattoo do all my palms. Like one of my best friends, Willie, Jared, Mike Perez, all these people that have never tattooed, just to show them what I'm talking about. Craft, dude. I'll show you. You can do it, and I'll stencil myself, give them my tattoo machine, and say, "Come on, do it," and they do it.
That's this might be an opportunity where I decide to learn to draw because I can't. Like I actually, when I was in second grade, there was one time in second grade where I had this project on making the Super Mario castle with Mario, Peach, and Bowser. That was the last time I was ever creatively inspired to draw. And then from there, I tried to draw other things, and I suck. I really do. Like, I mean, I feel like I have a great imagination, and I can do whatever. I've taken acid, so I think I can draw. But but like, how would you get someone like me to I hear exercise where, hey, draw an apple every day, and you're like, well, fuck apples. But is there a suggestion that you could have for someone like me to be like, hey, like if I want to learn to draw Rock Him, how would I start?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. So my kids went to private school for the first 5 years, and we had to do parenting hours. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to go in there and paint the outside of the building. So I with my son's teacher, and she offered to have me teach art to these kids. So 1 week out of every year, I went and I dedicated myself to teaching 6th, 7th, and 8th graders how to draw. None of them in the beginning. I always ask, who can draw? Who can draw? Everyone's hands down. There's maybe one kid that's like, eh. And so I said, by the end of this week, I'm going to amaze you guys. Are going to be amazed at what you can accomplish. And I went over some serious basics. Every day was a little bit harder than the next. And at the end of the week, they were drawing me or the piercer that worked for me. And then it always started with the sphere, showing 3-dimension with shading, light source, shadows. Took the same rules and did an apple the next day, or a piece of fruit. And next time I see you, I'll show you these pictures. You'll be amazed. I promise I could have you drawing because you're an adult, a little bit more developed. You sit down in an hour, I'll have you drawing an apple that you would not realize you could have done.
I love it. Dude, that's a challenge I will totally take.
Most people stop drawing early because they can't do it, as if they're supposed to pick up a pen and be like some master artist, but it's all about learning a craft. I was tiny. We were poor. We moved around a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends when I was young, so I sat by myself, and I found that if I drew, it killed the time, and I was getting decent as I progressed. So it was really just sticking it out for me as just some sort of an outlet. And people see what doing now. They just assume that's what you've always done, and that's just not how it is.
Yeah.
Like
And
anything else,
I think that relates to comedy too, where it's like you just don't see the
Absolutely.
work people put in. And what I think people need to realize, audience members need to realize, people who are fans, when you're seeing like, let's say just a Theo Vaughn, like a, you know,
Yeah.
just a Netflix special, you're seeing somebody who has crafted something for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And when people
more.
go, yeah, right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, at least just like, you know, that's like black belt. You're kind of like, that's like black belt standard. Whereas it's like 10, 15 years of seeing that. And so people will come to open mics and go like, my God, this is terrible, which it can be. But at the same time, you're thinking like, yeah, this is what the beginning looks like. This is white belt, you know, this is white belt with a few stripes, you know? And some people just get amazed or like, I mean, how, if you're doing this, why aren't you at that level? You know, it's just like, no, like they don't see the process. And some people where they would get frustrated and quit because they're going, oh, well, I made my friends laugh. If you guys don't get it, you know, then they'll attack the audience. I think it's interesting that the two kind of coincide together. And so with you doing both, have you found a similarity with like with drawing and comedy? Have you found something that like has like helped you with the fact that you do have this drawing experience? You've come into comedy going, okay, actually this is similar.
What has helped me was the fortitude that I've built up by struggling through difficult times, trying to better myself and achieving. I think when you talk about martial arts, I think one of the strongest there's in a martial art is the achievements, the belt factor, because then there's a steady reassurance that you are doing it, that you're getting it. And you brought up our crossroads, and I specifically wanted to point out that's the West Coast Fight Team Mixed Martial Arts School that you went to and I went to. Somehow we kind of missed each other in the process because we were there around the same time. When I entered that school, I was very intimidated because I'm not a mixed martial arts fighter. You know, I met the owner and I was like, cool, I'll check it out. I want to get fit and I wouldn't mind learning how to properly defend myself. And going in that school is a real ego check. When you get in there and you've got 16, 17-year-old dudes lighting you up, you're like, oh my gosh, I should quit. This isn't for me.
Oh my God.
But then you remember, you know what? Of course that's not. I'm the low man on the totem pole here and I love it because now I get to experience that growth again. And so I stuck it out. And then little by little, my skill set improved. And then I would find myself doing okay. Then another guy that's underneath that just shows up. I kind of help him and explain how I felt. And then next thing you know, you're building each other up. And although tattooing didn't have that, there wasn't a lot of helping each other, only holding each other down. To be honest with you, and I don't mean to be disrespectful towards anyone, that's closer to comedy. That's closer to comedy than it is mixed martial arts, because the ego doesn't last in MMA. Someone shows up there and they think that they're ready for the black belts. If they don't have any kind of like humility, they usually don't stick around, right? They're out there.
They get checked.
Or they get beat up by some kid. But if you have humility, then you can go in there and say, I am not the best at this. In fact, I'm the worst at this. But I believe in myself. And I know that if I stick it out, that I'll get better. And I'm willing to put in the sweat. I'm willing to bleed for this, you know? That's my approach in comedy. And I said, I'm going to be low man here. But I'm not dumb enough to think that I'm going to go up there and suck and then walk out the door. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to stay focused on getting better, and not the best, but just improving. And there's some really cool people. So I don't mean to say like all of comedies like that, but I think you know what I mean. There's some people that are really helpful and really cool, and then there's a lot of people that don't like it when someone is successful or whatever. That's how tattooing was, to be honest with you. When I got into tattooing and I was coming up, I was like, man, there's some people that are kind of nasty, right? But then there was the awesome people, the best people I've met, you know? And so I compare tattooing and comedy a lot more than MMA and comedy.
That's
just in my experience.
They both have, like, it's almost like a Venn diagram, I think, in a way, because I think a three-way diagram where it's like the art of tattooing and comedy has the mental fortitude of the background of the working on paper, trying things out.
Oh,
And then also where MMA and comedy coincide is that individual sport. When you fuck up, there's no blaming anyone else.
that's true.
That's what it is with MMA and comedy. Is the, like, when I was, where I have been doing. I unfortunately can't make the gym as of late.
Man,
Hope to go back next month. Hope to go back to next month. But when I was doing both, I was like, I feel like I am doubling down, because it is just two things in a day I'm doing that, like, when I fuck, if I bomb on comedy and bomb at MMA that day, like, it's what it feels like. It's a bomb, like, where you might scrap with somebody and you're like, you scrap with the same people, you spar, excuse me, not streetwise. But, you spar with people proper. And over time, you kind of go, okay, I think I got this guy's number. And then some days you do. Some days, man, he just kicks the shit out of you, and actually leg kicks you or something like that.
Worst.
Like, I'm
leg,
and
then,
the
worst.
Yeah. And so you're sitting there in the sauna going, God damn, and I gotta do a tight 5 tonight. And then you bomb that and you just go, wow, like, I have nobody to blame but myself. And that's what I find is really interesting. And it's like,
I definitely see the correlation. Yeah, your confidence grows in MMA until you get that next guy that'll whoop your ass. And then you're like, shoot, I thought I was here. I'm here. And that I will absolutely say the same thing. I had some momentum doing all great. I'm like, oh, I'm good at this. And then I go up and I just eat shit on stage. And I'm like, oh, you fucking suck at this. Quit. Get out of here. Get off the stage, you loser. But you don't do that. You go back and you put your tail between your legs and you suck it up, go home, rewrite your material, sharpen your skill set.
Exactly.
And you got to go do it again.
Yep. Yeah, you got to learn to put your hands up in comedy too. You got to go, goddamn, defend yourself. And that's something that, like, it's literally it's weird how much it's the same sport. So how long you've been doing comedy? For over a year.
13 months.
13 months.
Yeah.
And like I said before, man, you have accomplished an achievement many have hoped to do in a short amount of time. And that is that you have gone to the Comedy Store. If you don't know what the Comedy Store is, it is, I'd say, the mecca of comedy. The West Coast has the Comedy Store, East Coast has the Comedy Cellar, and anybody in the entire world would be blessed to go to that type of place. And so, you've been granted with it, and I'm happy for you, man. Thanks. I'm really happy for you there.
Thank you.
Even without, like, the MMA similarity and stuff like that, like, you've seemed pretty solid. No one has anything bad to say about you. But not yet. Well, not that
you just gotta make your way around. Trust me, it's there.
We'll get around. I guess we can just go right into that part. But I was gonna kind of pretend like I didn't hear it. But you had told me that you kind of caught some flack for the Comedy Store thing. Just for the fact it was, it came up. You got your comeuppance a little early than some people deserve.
I think it's a great story, to be honest with you. So tell me how
it transpired, and, like, how did you get this opportunity? We can.
This is a long, but I'm going to give you the condensed version.
No worries, man. You got time.
I went to an open mic to support a friend. I always wanted to do it. I was scared shitless, man. I had notes on my phone and everything. I wanted to do this so bad, but I was scared. I was scared because I watched great comics. I had never really been to a local open mic.
Yeah.
And so I went, and they were pretty funny. Some were really funny, and some were not really funny.
Yeah.
But the crowd supported them. I was really happy to see that no matter who went up there, they understood this takes some balls. We're going to support this person. They weren't throwing fruit. They weren't doing shit to these people. And so I was like, well, shit, if that's the case, well, I'll do it. I'll go next week. So I went through my notes, found my material, went up there, never practiced. I didn't even practice, dude. I just went up there and I just basically said what I thought was funny in my notes. And I got a pretty decent reaction. It wasn't like a standing ovation, but it was enough to get me to go back.
Yeah.
Never told anybody. my wife, and my friend Jeremy Lamont, who's another comic that I went to support. The only people that I knew.
Yeah.
So I did, I don't know how many shows, like 5 or 6 or 7. I finally got on the Tacoma Comedy Club. I put in to get on the list. I had my night. And I said, shit, I need people there. And so I opened the floodgate to my tattoo community. And really that's what it was. My success came from my support through my career. And it carried over because these people are really, really loyal and they're very cool. So when I told people that I was doing it, man, I'm telling you, I don't even know how it happened, but we filled the Tacoma Comedy Club. And it was my eighth set ever. And then it got really weird. This is where the part of the story that I think is hilarious is that afterwards, these are people I've known 20, 25, 30 years. Okay. These are like family people that I've tattooed forever. So they're, I could go out there and suck balls and they would have cheered for me. You know what I mean? So they were very kind. And like the host dropped a thank you that I brought so many people, and another comic dropped a thank you. And afterwards, my people are taking pictures with me just because they're my people. Hey, look, I went and saw Rich. And what I didn't expect were the other people that didn't know who the hell I was, that just happened to be there, were under the impression that I was somebody.
Yeah.
So
oh shit.
Taking pictures with me. And I'm like,
this guy,
shit,
he must be the yeah.
What do I do? And he's just like, go with it. Just fake it till you make it. And that's kind of
for sure.
That's been the theme of my career. I'm not lying. I faked it till I made it. And I haven't made it, but you know what I mean. So fast forward. I have the 15th, I got back on TCC. I invited my good friend Caesar, who 20 years prior had gone to church with Jimmy Shin. And they used to do all the production stuff for the church, the video production. They worked together. That was their thing. So they became very close. I met Jimmy like 20 years ago one time. We got along, but he hadn't started comedy, I don't believe yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, so Caesar's like, oh, I should get a hold of Jimmy and tell you about it. Tell him about you. And I was like, yeah, I reached out to him on Facebook, but I didn't hear back. So he calls Jimmy right then and there. He's like, dude, you got to see Rich. You remember Rich? And he's like, yeah, he reached out to me. Well, you got to see him. So Jimmy asks me to send him a tape. The only tape I had was from that night. And so I sent it to him and he liked it and reached out back to me and said, if you're ever in LA, come down and do my workshop. So it just so happens I grew up out that way. And I have a lot of people when they heard about this, and tattoo people and other people from Southern California that were like, come out and we want to see you, come out. So I told him, I got a bunch of people that want me to come down. Well, he offered to put me on his show. And I didn't say no. I was like, okay, when is it? 2 weeks? Yeah, I can be there. And he's like, you better, you sure you're going to be out here? They're LA. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, dude. I got cool people. I'll rearrange my schedule. So he's like, send me a headshot. Well, fuck, I didn't have a headshot. I didn't want to tell him I'd done, 15 performances or whatever. So I just grabbed a Facebook picture and sent it to him. And then I wake up the next day and it's the Comedy Store main room. And it's Jamie Kennedy and Daryl Hammond and Jimmy Shin and Gary Robinson and fucking me. And so
that was a stacked lineup.
What do I do? Well, what do? You go.
Yeah.
You fucking go. That's what you do. You go. And you don't say no to an opportunity like that.
Right.
Now, I didn't ask for that opportunity, and I don't know that I earned the opportunity prior to going. But what I did do is I did sell 31 seats out of the 266, which means a lot in the comedy world.
Yeah.
And then I met up with a guy earlier that day. We were just at a store. Like, hey, did you say you're doing comedy? And I'm like, yeah, I just started and I'm going to the Comedy Store. And he's like, oh, wow. Well, I'm Ron Murphy. I'm the producer director of the Trailer Park Boys. So I was like, oh, shit.
That's a fun job.
I got an extra ticket if you want it. So he's like, let me get your info. And then he calls about 20 minutes later, a text like, I cleared my schedule. I'm coming to see you.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, fuck, this is getting worse.
This is getting worse.
And so I'm like, okay, whatever. We're just going to do it. So my friend Caesar, the guy that started getting me introduced to Jimmy, he's there with me. And he's got these little mics and this little like gimbal, like stabilizer for his phone. Not a big deal.
Yeah. We're
goofing around Sunset. And I'm just doing this fucking bit because I do a shtick kind of based off like family members, kind of this East Coasty kind of guy. That's my that's my character, I guess you could call it, or whatever. And I'm on the streets like, hey, we're at Sunset Boulevard here in Hollywood. And then a little robot comes by. So I'm like, hey, it's R2D2. And just being stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are leaving the hotel doing a second one. And people are like, hey, what's the video? What are you guys doing? We're going to the Comedy Store. Like, well, that's where we're going. So I'm doing this video and I'm saying, hey, and I got this crowd of people following the camera. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. And I walk across the street. I'm walking down the street like, hey, everybody, go to the Comedy Store. And then there's like Bobby Lee is like hanging outside on the edge of the Comedy Store. So I'm like, hey, Bobby Lee, acting like I know him or something.
Ah, yeah.
Well, here's the great part. I walked past him in the entrance. They didn't open the doors yet.
Yeah.
There's a line of people. There's like 50 people in line waiting to get in. And 20 of them are my people.
Hey,
so when I get to the front door, they start going, Richie's
You're looking good.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And they start taking pictures with me. Just like the Tacoma Comedy Club, everyone else starts taking pictures with me.
You're looking
I'm just
good,
like,
man.
holy crap. This is just like this unbelievable sequence of events that are just totally not even what it appears to be happened to me. And so when I get up there, I had a big crowd in the audience. I think I did good. Jimmy came running over. He was like, yeah, you killed the Comedy Store. You did so good. And we went to lunch the next day, him and Gary Robinson. We did a little talking about what it takes. And I learned so much that no one's going to tell you at an open mic. But I learned a lot about what it takes. And it had more to do with the back end and the hustle than it did the comedy.
Yeah.
Now, being a businessman, I understood that. So I told them, dude, let's rock and roll, man. Let's make this happen. And then they took me on the tour. And I went to Chandler, Arizona, Huntington Beach, California, Beverly Hills, California, Portland, Oregon. We did Tacoma. I got a show in Seattle on Friday. It's been going great, man. And it's all because maybe I faked it. And I think that's why I caught some flack from some people, whereas other people are like, hey man, congratulations, Yeah. Like there's certain people that I'm going to mention, like Logan Cantrell and Macy Yo and James Fitz. These people were very supportive. Warren Robertson, all these people that are really, really cool were supporting me, and it felt good. Yeah. Logan tells me, he's like, don't even listen to these other people because luck, they say you're lucky. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Yeah. And that stuck in my head. Right. When Logan said those words to me, I was like, okay, cool. I feel okay then, because I don't want people to think I'm a fucking piece of shit. I don't want people to think I'm like, I know I suck. Like I know I'm not polished. I know I don't have, I think I have like 60 sets right now. Yeah. I think that's all I have. I lost count, but I did what I had to do, and I'm making the best of it. I feel very comfortable on stage now. I like the character I've come up with. I feel like it's just now taking off, though. I think it's just barely getting going. I'm saying like 3 years before where I feel like I'll be where I want to be. But I'm learning from you. I learn from everybody. I talk to people, and I just ask questions and act like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah. But I don't.
Right. And that's kind of it, is like, as long as you know you're a student, that's really, the best sort of avenue you can take when you get these sort of opportunities. You fake it till you make it, and you have that sort of feeling, but at the same time, you still gotta kind of show your cards eventually, and you gotta go, hey, thanks for putting me here, and which it sounds like you did, where you're like, hey, thanks for this, but let you know, here's where I really am. But hopefully as long as you did the part, and that's what I told you from the get-go. I was like, hey, look, man, we all might get opportunities that are maybe ahead of us, but it's all about how your momentum afterwards. If you completely bomb that, then you didn't deserve it. But if you did great, then cool. You earned your spot. Yeah. And from there, like you were saying, anybody who guilt trip you is just mad that they didn't get it first, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate in this game that, with entertainment, a lot of time, dude, it's not what you know, it's who you know. A lot of the time.
Bing, that's it.
Yeah.
Bing, and I believe that is also part of the reason why people might have a little bit of sourness is like, oh, he knew. Like I had a comic who I really just respect the hell out of. And when I told him, I was like, hey, dude, this happened. And he's like, no offense, but how did you get that? And I was like, inside, I was like, oh, fuck. But then I thought, God, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. How did I get it? You know how I got it? I sent my tape to the right person. And someone I know knew him. Now, if you don't do that legwork, you can't expect, no one's going to come to you and be like, dude, you come with me. You have to somehow promote yourself. I'm good at that. I think that's what. That's why I think I'm better at the back end of this, the production end, than I am the actual comedy. Yeah. And I think just because I think really like numbers, strategy. I play chess every day. Every day I play chess, and I have forever. And there's something strategic. I also play poker like all the time, and I'm very strategy driven. So when I approach a situation, I can't even help but the wheels turn in a strategic way. And that's, I believe, the secret to my success across the board. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that like comics lack. You know, some people go, and it's okay. It's okay. They have this thing where they go, hey, you know what? I don't want to focus on that. That's the hack work. Let me just focus on the art and I'll get where I want to be. But unfortunately, in this day and age, I really think you kind of have to have your toes dipped in a bunch of different ponds, and advertising, promoting's kind of one of them. Those are the ones that like are able to book the shows and able to, you know, get themselves out there and get a bigger voice. It's good that you're funny, but you know, it's unfortunate that like, you know, there's just those people that they're undeniably funny, but they think that's deteriorating their art by promoting it. They want to be sought after and seen, but they won't do that back work. So man,
some of them are content to just get up there. They're not doing it they're not doing it for money. They're not doing it they don't care. They just love the feeling of being on that stage. And that is pure. And I appreciate that. Like, totally, man, I envy those people who just only do it for the love of the craft. Yeah. I got a wife and kids. I got a mortgage. If I'm going to do this, then there's got to be a way that I can do it and be monetarily compensated. And that's where I think maybe I'm not money driven like that. I don't mean to come across that way. I love the craft. This is my dream. If you saw my senior picture, I should show you this. You'll laugh at my hair, but when I'm an old guy, bro. And when we were in high school, my senior year, they said to put under your senior picture, where do you see yourself in 20 years? And I put stand-up comedy at the Improv.
Wow.
Which is kind of, and I'm going to try and dig this up because it's worth showing to your crowd. Here it is right here. Look at that handsome devil, huh? Where are you going to be in 20 years?
That's not you.
Yeah. It is too. Look at that sweater. I still have it. Look at that hair. I don't have it.
I'm like, I can tell it's you. He looks like he still has hope in his eyes. That's how I know.
Yeah. That hope's long gone. Now look at these poor eyes.
There you go.
So
exactly.
This is my dream. It has been. I don't know how far it's going to go. And to be honest with you, I anticipate that it's going to crash and burn any day now. And I'm waiting for it. I'm just going to ride it till the wheels fall off, you know. But I'm going back. I got a show Friday night with Jimmy. I made a deal with him that we sell that place out. He says he's going to take me back to a pretty big show down south. I'm pretty excited about it. I got 80 tickets sold, a little over 80 already. That's all I know. There's some people that said they bought tickets. So we're going to fill the comedy / bar. We're going to go up there. We're going to do our best to kill it. We're going to give everybody a good time. And I think this is like kind of my coming out party, if you will. Oddly enough, it's on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. The double switch there. I get it. No, nice, man. That's really cool, dude. I'm really happy for you on that. That's legit, and that's
Thank you.
You even say the story. It's right place, right time. That's what it is.
That's exactly right.
Some people get afraid. Some people say that, oh, well, I couldn't and I'm not ready. Why the fuck would you ever do that? Any sport, any game, you take the opportunity, even if you know you're not ready for it. So anyone who says
Yeah.
that you should have denied it, like,
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Was I supposed to say no?
yeah, exactly. No. Here, let me pass
Let me
it off to
introduce you
this
to this
guy.
other girl over here.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, no, that's perfect analogy where it's like in dating. We're like, oh no, you're too good for me. Let me give you off to my friends. Like, hell
My friend
no.
makes more money. You'll like him better.
When that girl approaches you, you talk to her. That's the opportunity you take, man.
Unless
That's
you're married.
awesome. So, E&M, that's when it becomes that nowadays. That's cultural appropriate thing.
I think that's another thing is
good.
I have a really great marriage and really awesome kids. And I don't think I could have done this 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't know. I think that timing was really key for me as well. That my wife's career is amazing. My kids are old enough to where they can get by without me for a couple days. And so everything just lined up, man. Just God is great,
Yeah. So with comedy being where you're at, actually, no, here, let me go back to something I did have in my mind. So in high school, you said stand-up comedy at the Improv.
Yeah.
But you're starting comedy now.
Yeah.
What do you think that gap of time, what was that? Yeah.
Fear. It was fear. And then I started tattooing and my focus was on building my career, building my shop. I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't.
Yeah.
I never have. Growing up, I never did. That's one thing I lacked was confidence in myself. I was scared. I thought everyone hated me. I thought I was no good at anything. I was in my head. I was the tiny little guy in school with the awkward. I just wasn't comfortable. As I got successful in tattooing, I'm like, oh, I have something to offer. People are treating me as if I'm special, even though in my head I'm like, dude, I've drawn people. I'm not special. That's it. It's like it's a false sense of importance for a lot of people. But I've always been like, these guys are wrong. If they knew, I can't even, I suck at so much shit in life. But then I started saying, no, Rich, you don't suck at shit in life. If you want to do something, you do it. And I also started getting into poker, and I started playing I started doing the WSOP and cashing. And I'm like, holy shit, I can play poker with these guys. I'm playing with playing with Chris Moneymaker, and I just took him for 1,000,000 chips. I'm playing with Joe Cat, and I just 3-bet and bluffed him and got him out of my pot. Like, holy shit.
Those are some name drops right there. That's what's up.
And then, to be honest, up until comedy, my goal was that WSOP title. That was my goal. I want that. I want that more than anything else in life. I want that bracelet. And then comedy came. And then when I saw, holy shit, this is potential. I did a show with Mike Binder last week. He's amazing. I mean, dude, that's a huge name. I have a foot in the door with these people. So now my focus switched from poker to comedy. And that's, I feel like there's some potential there, I'll still play poker till the day I die, but I believe comedy and poker are going to benefit each other. They're going to be symbiotic, because if I can produce any kind of recognition, if I can get on any kind of, if the name Spychala ever gets out and I go to a poker WSOP, they'll spotlight me. I know they will, because they do that. If you have anything interesting going on, they spotlight you. And I think that's gonna boost me. I feel like it will.
Yeah.
At least I'm hoping it will.
And it's going to get you to be at more tables. It's like the thing with, who's the most popular guy? Daniel Negreanu. He's a fun guy to be around. Everybody wants him at the table. If you can create that sort of persona, you can be that comedian who's never is boring, and you're fun to be around, and you can still put out good hands and stuff like that. I watch poker a lot. I love poker, big poker fan. I used to do tournaments. I haven't really done much cash games, so I would love to pick your brain on that.
I'm a tournament player.
Oh, okay.
I'm a tournament.
Oh, nice. Okay, gotcha.
Another great story. The biggest comedy bomb I have ever had was at the poker table. Okay, I love this one.
You had to stay there too. Oh, shit,
Okay,
that's bad.
so
Bring it.
2019,
I'm ready.
2019 WSOP, the biggest WSOP
I got
they've
my
ever
helmet.
had.
Wait, so what
They
year?
had
What year was it?
2019.
2019. Okay.
Yeah, the biggest they ever had. They had this new event, cheap to get in, guaranteed big, like eight. It was like eight. I forget what it was. There's a great big thing, more entries than ever. So they started putting tables anywhere they could fit them. There was no room anymore, so they're putting them in hallways. They're putting them in rooms. They're putting them anywhere you could find spot. And I had to sit at this table in the middle of the casino, and you're trying to play poker, and people are walking by you, and everyone's panicking to find the next room. And they'd come up to the dealer, oh, where's table 127? And the poker dealer was just like, down the hall, make a left at the buffet, across from the bowling alley or whatever. Actually, it wasn't a bowling alley. There was a little mini bowling alley they had. It was a poker room now. Yeah, in there. Next guy, hey, I can't find 127. Down the hall, down the buffet. Yeah. And after a while, we just knew it was what they were going to ask. So this guy comes and he's like, scusa. And he starts speaking a different language.
Yeah.
The dealer's really fed up by this. He's like, you know what? I don't know what you're saying. And the guy's like, Italia. And so me, the smart ass that I am, I go, oh, did you say Italian? I can help. And so I stand up and I grab his ticket and I go, 127?
Bibbidi-bobbidi.
Hey, the poker room, she's a that away. And I gave him the thing back, and everybody just stared at me like I was a complete idiot. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
You were hoping for like a standing ovation.
Oh, dude, at least a chuckle.
Oh,
but I got nothing. I got zero.
You had to sit back down too.
I had to sit back down and just sit there. Oh my gosh, I just made an ass of myself.
Yeah,
but whatever.
You gotta make those attempts. You do. That's the rule of comedy is you have to break the rules to know the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think that's punching down either. By the way.
No. I mean, it's there's like this guy actually had this video where he's dressed as like a stereotypical like Asian person, where it actually has like the rice hat with that, and to all the white people to go, wow, how could you? This is so cultural appropriation. But then he goes into like an Asian community, and they're like, that's fine, like that's what we wear.
You look
like,
good.
That's what we wear, whatever. I mean, if you're like the bibbidi bobbidi, the spaghetti sauce, like get out of here, say womp. I mean, that's
get out of here, Guinea, hey, go
They quoting Godfather. It's just like you were just trying to go with his accent, and that's
just trying to be fucking stupid, dude. To be honest, I'm just being funny.
He
didn't.
You took the risk.
And I didn't understand a word I said, so I couldn't offend him.
There you go. Foolproof. Foolproof, man.
See, I grew up around a lot of mix of people. I have friends from every walk of life. I poker. I mean, you name it, and I know people from there, and I'm friends with them. So I feel comfortable fucking around like that. Like I don't friends when we joke, none of them, like not a single one. And so I don't understand these people who find it their place to tell you what you should or shouldn't say. That's always been kind of one of those things where I'm scratching my head like, I thought we were in comedy. I don't understand. I see all these big comedians saying crazy shit, and they're fucking getting thousands of people to show up. Like, I go through the speed bump early on because the self-righteous people that most of them aren't fucking funny. Let's be real. The ones that are the tightest on whether or not how you should act or what you should say, people that aren't funny. I found, I mean, the funnier ones are like, dude, that's great. That's a good joke. I like it. Yeah. But I also work very hard on not crossing lines.
Yeah.
Just getting as close as I can.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think that's like I was saying is like, it's weird when people are criticizing others at an open mic, like that's what it is. Like the open mic is understanding that that's just you're crossing a line. You have to do that to know what the line is. If you don't, then you don't know. Then you don't know where the line is. And that's just what's weird is, and people going like, oh my God, like, treating it like some sort of like, hey, you really did something that is just terrible. It's like, well, cool. Obviously, I know that because the audience didn't fuck with it, but like, you shouldn't take that to my character.
Totally.
And that's what I think is a really big kind of disease that's going on. But then again, we are in Seattle. You know, we are
That's
in
right.
Washington.
Right.
That is, you know, which is kind of known for the most woke place in the country, which is weird to think about.
It's a very hard. Yeah, it's an important lesson to learn, and it's a very tough one to take in the beginning. Is knowing your audience, and you want to be like, I'm not going to compromise who I am to please you. And then you go and they hate you. And I went to Portland, dude. I went to Portland and I did my act, and my act is not really good in Portland. And so I shut them down. I split that crowd in half. I'm going to scoot back. This is what I found. I'm going to show you my impersonation of a woke comedy club audience member after you say something that they might not like.
Okay.
That's what they do. They sit back and stretch their legs out and cross their arms and give you a dirty look. I said like half of Portland was doing that pose. And after I did my Girl Scout joke, which it's probably inappropriate, whatever.
Yeah.
But I learned quickly. And so for Capitol Hill, I'm doing a whole different act. Where that even if you are okay with it, now I'm learning less. Like I said, I'm always learning, dude. I'm learning so much. I told them up there, the owner, Dane, I said, listen, I want you to know that I'm well aware that this is Capitol Hill and you have a business here. I don't want to bring the heat to you. I don't want I don't want the community to be like, this comedy club, there's these guys in there, bigots and whatever. So I'll do it. I'm going to go there and I'm going to do some new material that's friendly to the crowd, man. And I'll save my other shit for when I go to Texas, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, and there's place for it all. I don't think, you should know where you're going. You should know where you're going. You do need to know the climate. It's knowing what the weather's like, in Seattle.
True.
And I have respect for Jess and Dane for, putting their club where it is. And obviously it's a great place for comedy. But I've known from the get-go.
I've only heard great things about that place.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I was just there yesterday for the open mic. It's an awesome place. Good feedback, great bar. And what I've known from the get-go is that it's going to catch some controversy. I really hope they can weather it because, where they are is again, it's kind of the capital of kind of PC culture. Yeah. No, it is a belly of the beast for sure. So I hope they're able to weather it. I think there's going to be more people that are, saying, I don't know. It's tough.
I think
it's tough to have a location there.
Yeah.
What's that?
That to me, this is the biggest challenge for me. If I can do well there, then I will be able to settle with myself and say, okay, what you did was appropriate and it worked. You didn't compromise laughs. You didn't compromise your integrity. Yeah. You adapted and you succeeded. And I feel like this is like this city is a big moment for me personally, because I think it's going to, I think it's my act is maturing, and I feel like it's coming to a more mainstream, I guess you could say. I feel like if I can succeed there, I can actually go back to Portland, which is my goal. I wanted to say, I'll never go back to Portland again. Kiss my ass, Portland. But no, I don't. What I'd rather do is go back there and make them happy and make them laugh.
Yes.
There's one thing that I don't want to do, and I don't want to piss people off. I don't want to make them mad. I want to make them laugh, right? That's what we want.
Totally. Yeah. No, I think every place, you're not above any comedy club. You should go everywhere. You should try everywhere.
Yes. You
should see how you are everywhere. And with that feedback, you will know what material you're more catered to. Like, okay, I mean, if you're doing bad there, it might just because your whole act is dick jokes, like they won't go for like really kind of crude stuff or something where it's just talking about, getting AIDS or giving people AIDS or I don't know, just like complete bottom of the barrel stuff. Totally. But yeah,
have you done 907?
Yeah, that
You
was
do
where I started
907 a
actually.
lot?
I started
Well, that's a
907.
rough crowd.
Um,
That's the
I
roughest
haven't
room I've ever been.
recently. What's that?
That's the worst I've ever had.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
that
as
is
if
a
it was
harsh
as if
room.
it was like it was as if it was set up that everybody there was supposed to get mad at me and hate me. But I'd
Yeah.
never been there. There, it's like if you can get by there, then you can handle any bad crowd.
Yep.
I've only been once, and I don't know that I even want to go back there because I don't know. It left
It's
a
a
real bad taste in
really,
my mouth. They
it's
were
a
abusive.
really I think if you're just and here's like my thing is I'm not good with like short jokes. I like to paint up a situation. I like to bring light to like it more than just, one little like it's a total one-liner place. Like you want to just
Yeah,
kind of like
pop,
get to the
pop, pop,
point.
pop, pop. Yeah,
Yeah. So for me, I'm just not really good there, and I do good a lot of other places. I I don't know. It's just it's weird for me. I've kind of found a routine where I like to go other places on Monday. But I do have great respect for the 907, and it is where you'll see some of the best comics come in and try new stuff. And when it's you pop off there, like you're saying, you can do good anywhere. But it is
yeah,
a place
yeah.
too where if I go there and I end up like getting there at like 10 o'clock, I'm not going up to like midnight. So it's kind of a hard one to battle out. So I don't know. You're not
I
alone.
just got
You're
back
not
from
alone in
Huntington
that.
Beach. I
Yeah.
just did the rec room in Huntington Beach with Mike Binder and Gary Robinson and Jimmy. And
Yeah.
Jimmy was like, "Hey, Rich, I'm going to put you up second to last because I got Mike Binder as our guest headliner, and I want him to see your act." So I was like,
Mm.
oh my gosh. Well, Mike Binder did the documentary on the Comedy Store. He's written Adam Sandler movies, Julie Roberts. This guy's a big name.
Oh,
And
okay. I was going to ask
and
you too. I was going to say, who is this guy? But okay, that's a
Mike Binder,
good.
Google him. He's the shit, dude. He's really good.
I will.
He's an absolute pro, and he took some time off. He got up on that stage and he murdered the crowd, killed it.
Yeah.
He kills. He's so good and really loose too. Just goes up there like he doesn't give a shit. He's just talking, and then it's just great joke after great joke. And so I'm like excited, nervous. I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Well, they showed up and they had been working already during the day at another show. So Binder was tired apparently, and they put him up like third, and Jimmy goes fourth, and then they're like, "You're headlining." I'm like, "Holy shit, this is my first
Oh, no
headlining
way.
gig." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm
Wow.
headlining." And so I'm like, "Okay." The show started late,
Mm-hmm.
midnight. I go on at midnight.
Oof.
What was 100 and something people turned into about 18 people when I got on there.
They
And so I'm
like,
like, okay, I
okay.
knew about this though. See, I knew about this because I've seen this before where the crowd splits and the poor headliner. Now, Tana Manu is a genius comic, and I gave him an option. You want to go early? And he's like, nope, I want the leftovers. And he went up there for like 6 people and killed it. And one of the best stand-up sets I've ever seen. And he was in front of 6 people.
Wait, who'd you
And
say? Who'd you say did that?
Tana Manu. This was at a different
Oh,
show.
yeah. Yeah, dude. That guy's funny. That guy is
he's
legit.
incredible.
Dude,
He's
is
absolutely
really funny.
and he's a vet. He's old school.
Dude.
So I thought about that.
I want to have
when I
him
went
on.
to
He's
headline.
funny.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna summon my inner Manu for this show in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Because there's only a handful of people out there, and like 11 of them, like half asleep. So I go up there, like you're saying, I'm doing this long joke. I'm building up this joke about my parents' mattress, and I like the joke, but the setup takes a while. So I'm in the middle of it, and I look over, and there's a guy in the crowd like this. Like sitting there full on yawning, dude.
He's just
yawning. Yeah. And I'm thinking, so in my head, this was a weird moment because I'm sitting there spitting my routine, but I'm something completely different. I'm like, oh my God, don't bomb. Oh my gosh. Thank God Binder left. Like, thank God he walked out the door because I'm sucking eggs right now. Well, I got laughs on my punchline, but it was an exhausted room, man. It was, I went home with my tail between my legs. The whole flight home the next morning, I was just like, God, what am I going to do? Like, this words. Gary Robinson was still there. He was recording it. And word's going to get back. They're going to talk about how shitty I was. I just know it. Well, I talked to Gary, and Gary was like, dude, you did fine. It was a cold set. The crowd was half asleep. Like, it was midnight. Like, what? Don't worry about it. But
yeah.
I mean, how do you not worry about that? They're yawning. You're doing comedy. They're fucking yawning. And then my friend was there. He's like, sorry, Rich, I fell asleep.
Ah!
I know.
That's
But
rough.
that was very humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling. And to where I realized, see, every once in a while, I get this really good momentum, right? And I'm going and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And then boom, I hit a bump. I come back down to reality. And so now I'm like, what am I going to do about Friday?
Yeah.
What am I going to do about Friday? You know, so I'm hitting every mic I can find this week. I'm working here in my basement. I'm running comedy to people at the fucking poker room. I'm doing anything I can to make sure that my set is punchy, like you're saying, more jokes, less offensive, a little bit more, just kind of leaning on my character a little bit more. If it wasn't for that Huntington Beach death sentence that I had, I think I might have come in a little too cocky or a little too confident this Friday.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I think I needed that.
Yeah.
I think I needed that. I think I needed the 9. I was going to go to the 907 tonight, dude.
Do it.
I was, because I'm like, fuck them. What is the worst thing? They're going to boo me? Am I going to fight?
You could. You never know.
Yeah.
Fights are more possible than boos. That's for sure. At the 907.
Dude, at the 907, they got hostile with me, man. They got hostile with me. Yeah, I'm not like it. And I'm not the kind of guy, bro. Like, I'm a peaceful man, you know, but I'm not, like, I'm not going to run.
Oh, yeah, man. We got that fighting skill. We got that under our belt.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, it doesn't take much, man. You hit an MMA gym for 2 years and you already know, you have a little bit of a skill set that, unless they're more trained or. Yeah,
then you're like, then you see cauliflower ear.
I know. I have one little tiny piece of cauliflower, dude. I was like, dude, I wanted more cauliflower. But
punch me in the ear.
No, but I'm not like, even at the MMA gym, like, I'm a pacifist. That's my nature. I'm a pacifist, man. I don't have problems with anybody. So I just hope that everyone's kind to me. I hope that they're nice to me. And that more than anything, I just hope they laugh.
Yeah. It's always the goal. Well, man, I'd say,
you remember?
Sorry, go ahead.
We did this show, me and you, at the Tony threw it. What the hell's that place in Pacific called? Like Coco Joe's.
Oh, yeah.
We did a show just recently, and there was like one guy at the bar watching baseball, and then the 2 mad ladies sitting right in the front.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. Dude, these chicks, they were upset the second they got there. They were pissed off. But so when I went up there, I went straight at them. Yeah. And I just joked. I said the most offensive shit I had in my routine.
Nice.
Just to fucking like fight fire with fire, I guess. But at the end, they laughed. They fucking laughed at me. So I was like, oh, cool, man. It's nice to front that, I think. It's nice to just to go into it. Like, at that point, I didn't care. I went in there, I was like, fuck them. They're not going to laugh anyway, so I'm going to have fun with it.
Yeah, no, you winning them over. That's like the objective, is to win the crowd over.
Yeah,
I think I went first. I was like, I'm doing sports bets at the casino. Just put me first. I don't care. I'm gonna go drink. I think that was the one. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, you remember those 2 old ladies in the front, man. They had those. Remember, they were sitting there just like this.
Well, there's a lot of those.
The I hate comedy pose.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those. I remember from Coco Joe's. Those are some crazy shows. Those are good ones though. That's like, it's like a local 907. You're getting 10 minutes in front of a crowd that's like, oh, there's comedy here. You can get them to laugh, then you're doing good for yourself.
Yeah, bar shows are hard, right? Bar shows are tough. Yeah. People are watching TV. They're drinking.
Oh yeah, they're having it like
you're interrupting their night.
It's college football season, and like you're turning off the TV. Yeah. They were turning it off, I think, when like Alabama was losing to Stanford or something like that, like a team that was just completely upset.
No, it was the Mariners, dude, and they were doing great.
Was it? Oh, okay.
And they were like, that's when they were like, they had momentum, and everyone's like into the Mariners. And I think that's what that was. It might have been a different
surprise. Here's
I do the mill. Dude, I do the mill. They got like 30 TVs on there, and you could just hear them. You're doing comedy, but they're louder than you because their favorite team just scored.
Yeah. You're telling your dick joke like high fly ball and it's going, it is gone. Applause break. Oh, that's not for me. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind though. It used to offend me because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah, it's those types of shows, man. It's those types of shows. You can't blame the audience because they're, they were surprised by a comedy show. Yeah, man.
So I want to ask you some questions.
Oh snap!
Nothing major.
We
talk
MMA. Bring it. Oh, dude, MMA.
Who do you
let's
dig?
go.
Who's your guy? Who's your MMA fighter?
Who's your guy? Who's my MMA fighter? I mean, man, I've always been on the John Jones train. He is one of the best. He has his controversies, which actually makes him even cooler. People want to say whatever the fuck, but like, he literally was like, I was coked out and beat you, Daniel Cormier. Like, that was like one of the craziest fucking things ever. I'm not sure if I'll put him as my guy, but I mean, one of the best. I mean, yeah, I mean, god damn, man, there's so many people to talk about, bro. I mean, god, what Sean Strickland did to Israel Adesanya was just out of this world, and he is one of those guys that is like, he is the definition of journeyman when it comes to fighting, and that Philly shell style he has just absolutely diffuse him. I just did not expect that at all. You don't see the shell either. No, yeah, it's just it's tight. It's pretty tight right here.
I love the shell.
He has arms up here doing that. Like, I mean, how he has it all put together with his leg kicks is just, or like how he was checking them all, dude. It was just insane.
And moving just forward.
Insane. So
cutting them off.
Kept him on his back heel, man. Yep. Yeah, I mean, he might be my guy currently. He might be my guy currently because, and not only that is that he is using his platform to just say what's on his mind. You might not agree with it, but like, I think he's sticking up for some very, at least, noble things. And you know what? I love the fact he's like Israel, dude, you would paint your nails. You identify with China. Like, I was like dying so hard. Where it's like, you know what, man? Why?
Dude, you do a great Sean Strickland, dude.
Oh, dude, I murder it. Yeah, you get the grime, dude. You go, dude. You look, bro. You paint your nails, bro. That's what
that's spot on, dude.
Fuck yeah, one impression in the arsenal. It's so weird. Like, he's like, I represent Nigeria, and then it's like people in New Zealand don't even fuck with you. And then you identify as being, he's like, he has that video where he's like, I'm not Nigerian or New Zealand. I'm Chinese. And it's like,
oh,
what the fuck? Have you seen that?
That's Adesanya says that?
Yeah, he said that in a video. He says in a video where he goes, I'm not Nigerian or from New Zealand. I am from China. And he apparently trained in China, but it's just like, dude, what are you doing to yourself? Like, do you know branding at all? Like, it's just weird. And then
he's got the followers.
Yeah,
he's got the followers, but I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not the biggest. I mean, I'm a Gaethje guy right now. I love Gaethje, dude.
Gaethje is the man. He is he is the scariest fighter, honestly. He does not let you out.
He just seems like he'd be fun to hang out with too. He just seems cool. Like, and what's that other the hillbilly guy that's talking about flat Earth, man? Bryce.
Oh, Bryce Mitchell, dude,
that guy's fun to watch. But I'm not, as far as fighting goes, I mean, I don't know. I'm a Gaethje guy. I like that kind of war. I've always been. Yeah. I like the stand up, man. Even when at West Coast, like, I did a smoker, and I was like, I don't want to kick. I just want to box.
Yeah.
I like stand up. And I hate getting my legs kicked. So,
dude. Leg kicks are brutal. Honestly, leg kicks
for days.
People don't even get it.
And days of pain. It sucks.
Yeah,
I remember I had this. I was sparring with Mondo, who was the kickboxing coach at West Coast, and he's fun. He's my friend, whatever. And we're no, it might have been John. It was John, the owner, John Mariansky. We're sparring. And then I do the stupid thing that I'm a clown, right? I'm a fucking clown. I've always done comedy, even in sparring. And so I'm like, I go like this, and I do this, what I nicknamed the butterfly ghost punch, where I go. And then they look at it, and then I pop him real quick. I made the mistake of doing it to John.
Oh my God.
And he's like, okay. And then boom. And I learned the term "get your bell rung" for years and years and years.
Oh man.
I didn't think about it literally until he connected. Oh, and he didn't even hit me as hard as he could. He's my friend, but he hit me good.
He just landed it.
It was Mondo that I did it with, and then he started playing around. But then I felt, and then he kicked me just above the outside of my knee on my right leg, just perfectly. He didn't even kick me hard. A week, I'm telling you, Peter, a week. That shit hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurt. It hurt. I was bruised, and he barely tagged me. So I was like, I think I'd rather have my bell rung than have my leg kicked, you know?
Right.
And that was the one and only match I ever did. I never got in the ring after that. I was like, I'm a lover fighter, man. I don't want that shit.
You're a lover of your brain, man, like to keep it intact. And you know, there's some things in life where like I'll think about a few delayed speech patterns. I'm not sure if it's like from like the acid or the weed or from boxing. Like it's definitely not a good combination, but it's I've done enough sparring.
I have the exact same problem.
Yeah,
I have the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is from the LSD.
Yeah, there we go. They're good. No, I mean, you know, I just think such deep thoughts. It takes a second. No, it's important, man. Did you see this weekend's did you see the fight card this weekend?
I watched the replays of it. Barbosa's a beast. I thought he was dead. I called that draw. That fight was a draw to me. The first round was absolutely 10-8. He was dominated. He almost got stopped in the first. And the second round was questionable. All the judges gave it to Barbosa. That's the only reason he won the fight. But wow, to come back from that, that whooping.
Right. I had a split for Barbosa. I don't think it was unanimous, but yeah, no, he got beaten so bad in that, and then just got that second wind. It was kind of hard to judge, like, man. Yeah. Oh, dude, Barbosa kick. We're talking about nightmare kicks. Like this guy
he kicked his liver like 20 times.
One of the scariest, dude. I've never had a bear kick to the liver, and I fear the day that happens.
Yeah,
I fear the day that happens.
Yeah, me too.
It's yeah. I mean, that's for me. Like, I think what people don't like, you know, one thing I think we'll have in a street fight is the fact we'll kick people. We know how bad those are. Yeah. Like, we'll just, that's my move. If somebody's like, oh, what? Like, let's fight. I'm like, huh, yeah, let's fight. Kick, bitch. Like, just literally do a kick. Like, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do this?
Have you seen the video? There's an old video of I don't even like bringing this guy's name up because I sponsored him. I used to sponsor fighters, by the way. I threw an MMA event. I've sponsored fighters. I've made banners. I've worked corners. I've done a lot in the MMA.
Yeah.
And there's a video of a guy that used to troll around Seattle like a superhero called Phoenix Jones. He wore like
I know all about him. I've seen all his fights.
You don't know him. If you knew all about him, you'd be like, hey, fuck that guy. But
right. No. Yeah, I know the whole.
There's a video with the guys calling him the N-word, and he's like, "Okay, let's fight. It's a open free combat state, or mutual combat." So he starts bouncing. He's in his stance. He's jumping, and you could just see the guy like has no skill set whatsoever, other than being like buff or whatever. And fucking Phoenix Jones, first leg kick, and you just see the guy lose any will to fight whatsoever at that moment. Yeah. And I was like, that's what Mondo did to me. That's what happened to me. And he kicked him right above the knee, right on the outside. And I think that is, like you're saying, in a street fight scenario, somebody who knows where to target those kicks.
Mm-hmm.
One little mini shot. And that guy was no longer, there was no more N-words. There was more, I want to fight you. He was toast. And then his friend, his idiot, other racist scumbag friend, was like, he said he don't want to fight. But I'm like, man, this guy wasn't trying to fight. You were trying to fight. Let him take his whooping, let him learn his lesson.
Yeah.
But that guy ripped me off for hundreds of dollars, and then ditched town and left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
And
he's like a lot
then
of
he ended up
people.
getting like arrested for dealing drugs to kids or something. And
Yeah, there was something that happened with that. Here, maybe I can even like pull it up real quick. I know his actual legal name.
but his brother is awesome.
Yeah,
Carlos,
Carlos.
I sponsored him.
Yeah.
I got lucky on that one too. I sponsored him when he was in Strike Force, and the card got canceled, and so his next fight he got picked up by the UFC, and that was when they were like no advertising whatsoever. And Matt Hume called me and was like, "Dude, he's moving to the UFC. This is the situation. We are still going to put your banner." So my logo, my action tattoo logo, was on his banner when he was fighting in the UFC, which I was like, victory! Like that was the coolest thing ever to me.
Yeah,
I got action tattoo on a banner UFC.
that's the best spotlight to have.
And
yeah, so I'm looking up his
Keros, and Keros is one of the best fighters from the Pacific Northwest. I mean, he's amazing, and he's from, he's up there with DJ and Matt Hume and every other great fighter from the Pacific Northwest. So, it was nice to be included in that.
Yeah, and we mentioned Matt Hume, and he's one of the legends of Northwest. I mean, and now he's in ONE FC, so continue the legacy. Yeah, no, it looked like Phoenix Jones. I guess he sold coke to an undercover officer, which I heard.
There was kids too. I think he got twice. I don't know. I don't want to even bring that guy. Whatever, dude. I hope he's changed his ways. I hope he's become a better man. I hope that
it's just dues. Yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad that someone like him has. I mean, you have a gimmick as a literal superhero, and you're gonna blow it by just doing drugs and making an ass of yourself. And you're fighting MMA. Like, dude, he had such a hype train ready for him.
And tough as nails.
Fucked it up.
Tough as nails. He was skilled, man. He beat my friend in a fight, which I was like, but whatever.
Yeah, who was your friend?
Oh gosh, I think it was someone from the gym. I can't even remember the guy's name. I'd have to look it up, to be honest. It was just a guy from the gym.
Is it like a professional fight?
No, it was an amateur card, I believe. I should look it up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was. I was there with Reese, and God, who the hell was it? Now he got me tripping out. It was. I want to say it wasn't Steven, was it? I don't think it was Steven.
Oh no! If you're talking about,
it was someone from the gym. I guess we weren't that good of friends, whatever. But he was my guy. The guy that we were rooting for. Mm-hmm. I know it wasn't Drew. Drew didn't fight.
No, you pieced him up, grappled him. But yeah, no, it's crazy. God, it's when he was coming up, he was undefeated. He was getting on WSOF, now PFL, and man, you just think the easy hype train he had. Articles were made for him, and he fought his brother. But I mean, that was like an obvious, like that was a real, like it was a street fighter versus MMA fighter. Like you knew, like what was going to happen there. I mean, he just.
I mean, Carlos again. Carlos is like world class, mm-hmm. and Phoenix Ben is his name. Was better than I'll ever be. He kicked the shit out of me. I'm not going to fake that, but really tough. But I think that he was more durable and just got that grit, that internal thing where you just don't give up. Whereas Karos, skilled wrestler, military guy, like just super disciplined technique guy. And I mean, we all know technique trumps,
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. I should have bet on it. I should have got my money back through betting against him.
There's some sports bets. Oh yeah, man. You sports bet much?
I love betting the fights, man. I like betting them in Vegas because you know what hedging is? Yeah. Where you do this bet and they say fights. Yeah. You bet. I'm the king of hedging. I go to Vegas. I sit in the sports book for the fights and I pick them. And if I'll say I'm going to win $2,000 if my last fight wins, I'll go bet 1,000 against it, so I'm guaranteed $1,000 win. You can't do that with many sports because often, like football, they coincide. They start at the same time. The fights are brilliant because you can start, and they even let you fight. You can go up in the middle of a fight. That's when they changed. Like Barbosa was next negative 400 or something before, or negative 600 after the first round. Or plus, I'm sorry, he was plus 600.
Plus, yeah.
After round one,
underdog,
if you went to the window after round one and said, Barbosa's going to win,
yeah,
dude, you'd have got laughed at, but you'd have won 600 at that point. And and so hedging is fantastic. I don't bet football. I don't bet baseball. I don't even like baseball, but I love fighting sports, man. So.
Oh yeah, no man, it's one of those raw sports. It's weird how people aren't as into MMA because when things break out in fights, that's where people are the most entertained. That's what's going to get the most headlines, and yet people have a thing that is all fighting, and they go, what's the football game on? You go, what? Like what? I don't get it.
Yeah,
they're not as educated, I guess. Let's see, dude, good card coming up. UFC 294.
Oh my gosh,
Magachev Volkanovski.
Dude, how did they lost their main two cards and then in like 24 hours they made two better fights?
Perfect.
Can you believe it? This card is stacked. It's stacked. I mean, every fight on there. And then there's this new guy. I can't pronounce any of their names. That's basically now how I bet on sports. If I bet on fights, I'm like, okay, if I can't pronounce their name, I'm betting on them.
Yeah.
The Russians are tough.
Magomedov? Yeah, is there Magomedov in there? All right.
Is that the guy with he looks like Bigfoot. This guy with this red beard. He's like a ginger.
Yes. He
looks like an animal.
First fight on the card. His last name is Magomedov, so we're gonna leave it there. Shara Bolden Magomedov. Yeah, he is the first one in the fight. He's been really hyped up. And he is.
This fight card is very, honestly, dude. I'm planning on buying those fights. Like I just anymore. I'm picky about which ones I pay for. I don't know why I'm cheap that way. I'll go to a poker table and drop a G and darn it, but I won't spend $79 for some really good fights. But no, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that fight. I'm super excited about him.
So this guy,
I'm saying Volkanovski, man. I'm picking Volkanovski, dude. I think he's going to go out there and bum rush this dude. I have a feeling that he's going to just land the right shot. I hope anyway. I'm picking. Volkanovski on that one. Here's what I think. Here's what I think for sure is I think I would honestly, I'm not sure. I will know who wins the main event based on the co-main event. I feel like if the replacement wins. If Usman wins versus Khamzat, I think he will.
Usman's the replacement. I think Volkanovski is going to win that. For some reason, I feel like it's going to dictate it in some weird way. I just feel like sometimes there's this momentum that you can discover based on the how the night's been going. Like some nights it's just like all decisions. There's that, and then it's like all finishes, all crazy, ecstatic sort of finishes. I feel like. There's going to be a sort of like, can the replacement take the main contender type of thing? And if Usman gets through Khamzat, which is very likely or possible, I don't know how
they're fighting at 85. They're fighting middleweight.
Oh, so
we haven't seen Usman at middleweight. He doesn't have to cut any weight.
Are they both on debuting that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
I don't know if
170. Okay, no, let's see. In his past, so he's done welterweight, but he, Khamzat does welterweight, but he has done middleweight bouts. His first and third were middleweight, but otherwise he did welter. So he's obviously Alex Pereira type of dude where he probably should just go to a higher weight class.
Man, he looked great at middleweight.
Jesus,
he walked right through that dude.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he's light heavyweight now. Yeah, he's
light heavyweight. I thought he fought at 85, from 70 to 85.
No.
You're talking about Mike, you're talking about different Pierre. I'm talking about Michael Pereira that just
that just fought
85.
Yeah.
Fought the Russian dude or whatever, and he just blasted him. I mean, he looks so strong, dude. Oh man, he's gonna be something. But I want Chimaev. I want him to. I'll root for him, but my money would be on Usman.
Yeah. I mean, I think this will be the fight that determines his future. I think Khamzat flatlines Usman, like after him
he
losing
gets
to
a
Leon
title
Edwards, like that is going to, yes, for sure. But
Yes,
also that'll say like for Kamaru, it'll be like, man, 3 losses in a row.
You think it's one of those situations like the Ferguson thing?
I don't know if he'll go that route. I don't know about that.
Well, you know
but
what I mean?
I
Like once Tony started losing, it was done.
He'll be spiraling. He'll definitely be spiraling. I mean, I don't know what type of, trajectory you have after that. Like that's going to be, gonna be a weird situation for him where it's like, you're the best of all time and now you're kind of spiraling. I don't think, it'd be a lot for him to get like a UFC, get kicked out. Cause I mean, shoot, what was he on? He was on about a 14 fight win streak before losing to Leon Edwards.
And that's all he lost to. That's it.
That's all he
One
lost
guy
to
had his
far.
number. And beat the guy once already. So he's got a 2 out of 3. I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. I think Usman is still Usman. I think that because of those losses, people are looking past him to come out here. Yeah. And I don't think there's many people more headstrong than Kamaru Usman in MMA. I've seen things on him and his focus and the way he trains and just how dedicated he is. I think that people are sleeping on him in this one.
Yeah. No, you're right though. You're right. I mean, we got to think about how he got to this position and who
he crushed everyone.
He's beaten. Yeah, who he's beaten before this. He's beaten Sean Strickland. He's beaten Damian Maia. He's beaten Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal.
Burns is tough, man.
Flatlined. Yeah, but if somehow I mean, Usman in better fashion, but yes, Khamzat was he survived that more than beat him. He
and that was where you get to see, because up until then, he walked through everybody. He got punched twice, 3 times in like all of his fights total.
Yeah.
And
there was like 3.
Was like, he's a god. He's just And I believe that kind of got into him's head. So I'll crush I'll kill them all. Then he fights a fighter like Gilbert Burns, and that's like, no, bro, you're human. And so
do you remember the post fight where I think it was after Kevin Holland he's like I go and I kill everybody, and Joe Rogan kept taking the spotlight, being like, yeah, but you didn't make weight, so how are you gonna kill people when you can't make weight? He goes, he'd be like, he hear the question and go, I will do better next time. But then I will go and take the title from everybody. But we're not sure if we can give you the title because you keep having issues with weight. Dana can't trust you with that. It was so funny. He was taking the wind out of his sail. It was perfect. But now he's a middleweight.
Back to leg kicks and the fights this weekend. What about the Martinez and Yanez fight?
Bro, Martinez is a dangerous dude. He beat Nurmagomedov and took the sail out of all Russians. Like that was a huge upset. That one really surprised me as the fight went on, but put me a believer. I'm a believer in this guy, Jonathan Martinez. I mean, it is insane what he did to him. And honestly, he has that sort of style that can diffuse the Russian wrestling style.
Well, he leg kicked the shit out of Yanez this weekend. And,
yes. Oh yeah. Yanez was hard.
I was watching with my wife, and I was just like, I'd react. We watch fights. I was like, like hold my leg, like, oh my god, my leg hurts. Oh, like dude, I know what it feels like.
When he collapsed on his knee and still kept
that guy's not gonna walk. He's not walking until November. No trick or treating for Yanez this year.
Oh yeah, none was stairs. Anything with stairs he cannot go to. That's for sure. Yeah, no, that was crazy fight there. That was a good one. So you're going Volkanovski for
again, I'm not the
when you're going for the replacements. You're going for the replacements on it.
I always root for the short guy.
Always root for the short guy.
I'm short. Okay. I'm not tall, so I always feel like that. I'm like, let's go. Plus, again, for me, mental fortitude. Mm-hmm. Nobody's more confident than Alexander Volkanovski, in my opinion. Nobody believes in themselves more than that man. And so when someone is that dead set on who they are and what they're capable of, believe them. Not to say that Islam isn't. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is this guy's got his back against the wall. He's got something to prove, and he's going in there confident. So I don't believe that that's something that is going to let him down. I just don't think he's going to let him down. I doubted that guy. I thought Holloway beat him, to be honest with you, those fights. I had Max winning those fights. And so ever since then, I'm like, he's not that good. Screw that guy. But then I start watching his fights, and I'm like, oh, shit, he really is that good. Wow, he's amazing. Wow, he's only been fighting 11 years. Not like bred into it. Like, it was like this fucking Russian cat, that's been fighting since he was like 4 years old, training with fucking bears and goats, or I don't know what the hell they do out there, but this guy's been like eating rocks and fighting bears. Whereas the other guy's just like, 11 years ago, I thought I'd start kickboxing. And
after doing rugby and being a 215-pound, 5'6" rugby rusher, like it's insane. What he's done in the sport is just amazing. And I mean, I like your take on Volkanovski and just what happened that first fight. Really, it kind of, I mean, I really felt like Islam was trying to survive more than Volkanovski.
That's all he did.
Right. He was surviving. He was trying to survive, and it's controversial it's hard to be a judge in those cases because you're like, because a takedown's worth can subside his survival instincts. Where it's like, dude, you were just on the ground. You were not doing anything crazy. You shouldn't really win that. Right, dude. That one can kind of, that one's hindered people's careers just by, making them go down and right in the rankings by, kind of GSP survival way.
GSP is similar.
Man, that one's
very similar.
That one is,
and it's effective. I mean, you can't knock it, right? It's effective. Khabib mastered it, and he's just had the same recipe. It works. You want to win, I guess. I don't think that you're going to see any of those guys from Kazakhstan or wherever the hell they're from stand up and fight. I think they're all going to get that same exact approach. They're just going to tackle, get down, wrap their legs around their legs, and hope for the best. Not to take anything away from Khabib.
Yeah.
What a stud.
Because, he still has some stand-up game. They'll have a good amount of stand-up game, but obviously it's like where their strength lies is just 100% evident. That's the ground.
It's better than everybody else's, so why wouldn't you use it?
Exactly. For fight nostalgia, man, what was like the first fight that got you hooked? Was there did you ever see like a first fight where you're like, what is this?
When 1993. My buddy Jim McCursky had his apartment with our house with some other guys, Alex Figueroa, and we were out there. And one of them worked for the cable company, so they got all cable for free, all pay-per-view for free. We were hanging out there and playing spades, eating, drinking, barbecuing. The Ultimate Fighter 1 shows up, and we're like, "What is this? Like wrestling or something?" So we sat down and we watched the very first UFC together, and I was like, that was it. That was it. Second, that Gerard came out and kicked that the sumo wrestler, knocked his tooth out. We were just like, I can't believe it. And we sat there and shit. And my friend Alex Figueroa picked Royce Gracie because he was the smallest one. He said, I'm going to take the small guy. I'm taking the small guy. And he whooped everybody's ass. And that was it for me. I was a boxing fan my whole life. I grew up watching boxing. That was the only sport I liked. And then it was love. It was like insta love, like right away. I went a couple years later. I met a guy he studied judo under Gene LaBelle. And we worked together at a restaurant, and he had mat. So he invited me over, and I started training in judo because of what I saw. And then he told me, he's like, Rich, I went out to Hollywood. And there's a guy out there. He's actually the brother of Royce Gracie. His name's Hickson. And he's got a studio out there. And I went out there. And he's a brown belt in judo. And he said he got mopped up by like a fucking purple belt or something. He said he didn't stand a chance. And he'd been training judo his whole life. And then So I ended up meeting a guy named Alberto Diaz, who's a really good friend. He came out to my show in Huntington Beach, and he became my first jiu-jitsu coach. And then, I just, MMA to me was the greatest sport that's ever has been. I don't know. People love basketball. I don't understand the appeal over a sport like MMA.
Yeah, no, me neither, man. I don't get it, man. It's like
and
if you're in the back alley,
like,
yeah, no, right.
Excruciating.
Yeah, the pay displacement, the net worth of baseball players versus like an MMA fighter is just like, where does that? Yeah, it's all just the fact of like commercial sponsors and money displacement. Otherwise, it's like, can you shoot hoops your way out of a back alley? Bitch, no, you can't.
I used to tattoo a guy named Bobby Madrich, a good friend. He became a friend. He was a pitcher for the Mariners, Native American, heavily tattooed. I tattooed his hand. And the first time he pitched after that, the other team complained that it was a distraction, and they made him wear gloves. And he didn't have any family out here, so he'd come over for dinner, and his brother was in town, and so he put me down as his family member. So I had free tickets to Mariners, like epic seats too. So I would take my in-laws, I would take my friends, and I would sit through a ball game. And I'm telling you, dude, I hated it. I couldn't believe how fucking bad it sucked to sit there and watch baseball live. And people swear by it, and I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. It's a lot of downtime. I
went to every game, though. I supported my friends. So anytime he pitched, I was there.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, it's something to do. It's nothing I do to like, go after like it's not to chase adrenaline or anything like that, but it's something. But
my dogs just came to visit.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, cool, man. No, this has been good, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Man, I feel like I did all the talking, but I'm sorry. I'm excited.
That's how it goes. Yeah. That's how it goes. I interview you.
Yeah. Well, that was cool, man. I appreciate the time, dude. I appreciate that. I will tell the world right now, anyone that's listening, this guy is hilarious. He's a fantastic comic. He's a hell of a guy, and he's one of the people that were nice to me. And that means a lot, Peter. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Good. It meant a lot to me because, I'm a little insecure when it comes to this shit. So people like yourself that are so engulfed in this and so welcoming of others, that means a lot to people like it. So if no one else tells you that, let me tell you that.
Good. Well, that means also, a lot, man. That means
one of these days, we got to go to some fights together, dude. Like, you got connects, I got connects. Let's go do it. And it's like, maybe just clown it. We'll go interview these people. We'll just have fun with it.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. No, no, man. We'll talk more on air about some things, ideas I have, but yeah, dude, 100%, bro. I mean, even watching the fights, getting John out, dude. I'd love to John Mariansky, our coach, bro. I'd love to just have me, you, and him chop it up, and he's always fun to talk fight picks with as well, man, or just talk about the fight game.
John doesn't leave. John's
exactly.
Like a hermit, dude.
We got to invade his ass.
No, I said, if I get the fights here, I'm gonna call Manny. I want to see Manny and I are going to Wu-Tang on Wednesday. So I'll see Manny Wednesday. Baby. I want to see if we can get everybody here. If so, I'll call you up. You're welcome to come over. And we'll have some fun.
Sounds like a plan, man. And let's make sure we get your plug out for your show properly. So please get that out and make sure we encapsulate everything that we want everybody to come see. What is it?
This Friday, October 20th, at the Capitol Hill Comedy /Bar. I'm opening with Jimmy Shin. We got Thomas Hermsen. And Hans, I don't know Hans's last name. I haven't met him yet. I'm excited.
Hans Hilton. Hans Hilton and Tommy T. Tommy T is very funny as well. Thomas
I've done a couple shows now with him.
He's good.
Good dude. This is a good lineup. We got a lot of people. It's going to be sold out. Get your tickets now. I don't know how many are left, but I can tell you it's not. They're not going to last. Don't wait till Saturday don't wait till Friday. Get your tickets. If you haven't seen Jimmy perform, he puts on a really good show. He's a super professional. And let me tell you, I don't care, nobody works harder in comedy than Jimmy Shin. I've picked up on this dude's hustle. Nobody works harder. So come out and enjoy the show. If you guys are watching, we'd love to see you.
Well, there you go, man. That is Richie Spychala.
Hey,
thank you for coming
on, man.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Your worst moment in history played out. Nah, man. Well, hey, thanks again for coming on, brother. And
thank you for having me.
Where can we find you? Richie Spychala, Facebook, Instagram?
On my Facebook, it's at Richie Spychala. My Instagram, I just put it under Rich White. I got to work on separation. I just I just started a website, richiespychala.com. I'm about to upload my content. I really, really need to work on making reels. I suck at technology. If any of you out there are good at technology and you want to help me, please, I need some reels.
I'm not bad. I can help you out with that.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be filming, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
Well, there you go, man. Thanks for coming on, and I will catch you soon. And be sure to check him out at the Comedy Bar this Friday. This will probably be released tomorrow, so there should be some time.
Also, Action Tattoo and Body Piercing, Auburn, Washington.
There we go. Yep, the real hustle. The real hustle. Let him pierce your belly button.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks a bunch, and I will catch you around.
Right on.
Splash.